Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV. I am yours faithfully, Mauri Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Breaking news, Deborah Samuel, Tambua imposes 24-hour curfew on Sokoto metropolis over protest. Afenifere condemns killing of female student in Sokoto. Those insulting me over health status ignorant have empty brain, Tinubu. And to foreign story. Russia cut electricity supply to Finland over its plans to join NATO and the Squad. Then is doubtful for Eagles Mexico-Ecuador clash. Now the news in detail. Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambua on Saturday imposed a 24-hour curfew on the state metropolis over the violent protest by youth who were demanding the release of two suspects arrested in connection with the killing of Deborah Samuel over alleged blasphemy. Afenifere, the Pan-Yoruba social political organization, has condemned in Trump terms the killing of a female student, Deborah Samuel of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto State. The group described the killing as the unprovoked and unwarranted killing of a female student on Wednesday, May 11, 2022, by her school colleagues for alleged blasphemy, describing the act as barbaric. The National Publicity Secretary of the group, Jari Ajayi, in a statement lamented that actions bordering on religious intolerance and enough have been occurring, leading to the loss of lives and properties. The statement opined that the action is happening often and again in the region because of the failure of the state to take drastic actions against the perpetrators of such acts. The statement said Deborah's tragedy must be used as a cue to put a permanent stop to faith-induced murders in our land. To some political story, All Progressive Congress chieftain and presidential aspirant Bola Tinubu has stated that qualifying to be president of Nigeria doesn't require strength, but intelligence and smartness to overcome the numerous problems bedeviling the country. A president's job is not to climb a mountain, a wrestling match, or carry concrete. It is to think and perform with his brain. We are not looking for a WWE wrestling fighter. We are looking for a thinker to provide security for us. We are looking for a doer who will look at economic opportunities and turn it around to prosperity. Tinubu stated on Friday in Minna, the Niger State capital, where he met APC delegates ahead of the party primaries. The former governor of Lagos State told Niger delegates that people insulting him over his health status could not even match him in mental capacity. They have empty brains and have nothing to say rather than insult me, but I leave them to their blindness and ignorance, he concluded. A man who was heading for a wedding ceremony has given details of how policemen from the police division in Kwara State slapped him and eventually collected a sum of 40,000 naira after demanding 200,000 naira over his refusal to give them his phone password. The man, who has as his name Temi Tokwelua on his Twitter handle at TZA_, gave details of his encounter with a policeman on his Twitter handle, which he wrote to the first public relations officer, Muiwa Adijobi. It was gathered that the man was heading for a wedding ceremony in Ilorin, Kwara State from Akure, Ondo State, and met the policemen at the checkpoint after Omaron, who were armed and in mufti. The policemen stopped the commercial vehicle he and others were in and decided to search everyone's phones, but as he refused to allow them to check his phone, one of the policemen slapped him from behind. According to his tweets, "I'm just leaving Nigeria Police Force, okay, only being Kwara State. This is what happened. I was attending a wedding in Lorin, going there from Akure after Omaron. There is a checkpoint in which all the officers there are armed and all on mufti. The only identification that they are police is the jacket they are putting on their mufti. They are all armed, including the driver. They stopped the car, which is a public transport, told us to come down before slapping me." To another similar police occurrence, a popular Nigerian policeman, Aliu Giwa, also known as Ali Giwa, has narrated how an act of kindness got him into serious trouble in his line of duty. According to the officer, in 2013, when he was new in the police job, he saw a young man handcuffed and looking all worn out, and so out of compassion, he gave money to the sergeant in charge of the suspect to buy food for the suspect. He said shortly after he heard that the suspect had escaped. He also got to find out that the suspect was arrested for robbing and killing a man close to a bank, and an English pistol was found in his possession. Mr. Giwa said he was later summoned by the divisional police officer, DPO, who asked him if he knew that the suspect who he ordered the sergeant to release so that he could go and eat had escaped, and he said yes. He said although he never asked the sergeant to release the suspect and all he did was give the sergeant money to buy food for the suspect, he said yes to the DPO's question simply because he didn't want the sergeant to take the whole blame. He added that the sergeant was eventually incarcerated on the order of the DPO, and Igiwa was issued a query that could have led to his dismissal. However, the sergeant pulled him aside and told him of an uncle in the village who could help them catch the suspect because that was the only way they could save their head. He said they transported the uncle from the village all the way down to the police station, and at the station, the uncle requested for anything that belonged to the suspects. From that story, we'll go straight to a national story. Self-styled disciple of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, on Friday said that Biafra separatists will continue to carry arms for self-defense. Actually, the report that IPOB, a separatist group, has been proscribed as a terrorist organization in Nigeria. It has an armed wing in the Eastern Security Network, ESN, which has been accused of attacking security agents' facilities and killing innocent civilians, but EPA is undeterred. Biafra people will continue to preach self-defense, self-determination of Biafra, disintegration of evil entity called British Company, Nigeria. We will continue to preach against Fulani terrorists. Our men will continue to carry arms for self-defense, so long as terrorism is in Nigeria. EPA wrote on his own Twitter handle. As long as Fulani terrorists and terrorists carry AK-47 to kill our people, Nigerian government should protect them, and we will continue and to defend our land from the terrorist invasion. As long as Nigeria remains one with many dangerous diversity, where the Biafra media warriors will preach dissolution. To another tragic one from the Nigerian police force, a suspected notorious cultist, Olagunju Abdulfatai Ifeanyi, on Friday confessed that he recently engaged in killing spree to gain promotion from number 2 to number 1 in area confraternity in the Ilorin zone, Kwara State. Ifeanyi said that he, alongside 4 other members of area confraternity, had killed 2 persons in recent times in Ilorin, the state capital. The suspect, who was paraded alongside other suspected criminals at the police headquarters in Ilorin, is said to be the son of late major of the Nigerian army. Ifeanyi also confessed to have used his late father's pistol for the killing of his victims. Another suspect, Mumini Baba, said he was invited to Ilorin from Russia State by one Abdullahi of Oko Olowo area of Ilorin, now at large, to engage in political killings. The spokesman of the State Police Command, Kasumi Ajayi, also paraded 3 suspected POS robbers, Abdusalam Abubakar, Olamide Boluwatife, and Olayemi Ismail. Ajayi said the investigation revealed that the suspect had successfully operated, swapped, and stolen about 35 POS terminal machines within Ilorin and Offa only. Still on the national news, another one is coming from the killing in Sokoto State. Deborah Samuel, a student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto, who was killed on Thursday for allegedly making blasphemous statements about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, had pleaded for mercy and called out for help before she died. One of Deborah's classmates, identified simply as Rekia, told Vanguard that the last word of the disease was, "What do you hope to achieve with this?" Narrating the incident, she said Deborah was flogged, killed, and burnt. It was the most horrible thing she has ever witnessed. Deborah was my classmate. I just stepped into the class when the uproar on her voice noted started. Immediately, about 3 other chats came in from 2 Muslims and 1 Christian, telling her to retract the statement. 2 students from other departments who overheard some Muslim boys discussing the matter told Deborah's close friend to prevail on her to retract the statement, but she replied via voice note on the platform, "Holy Ghost fire, nothing will happen to me." Is it by force that you guys will always be sending this religious stuff in this group? The group wasn't created for that, but rather as a notice on test, assignments, exams, etc. Not this nonsense religious post. Rekia further stated that the Muslim student led the strangers to the class to look for her, adding that some classmates tried to help the girl escape as they had gotten a car, waiting outside to drive her straight to the police station, but unfortunately, The mob overpowered everyone who tried to save her. In case you're just joining, you are watching the world news from BGI TV. Now to foreign story. Russia suspends electricity supplies to Finland. A supplier said on Friday as tensions rise over LSA's NATO bid amid Moscow's military campaign in Ukraine. We are forced to suspend the electricity import starting from May 14th, said RAO Nordic, a subsidiary of Russian state energy holding Inter RAO. RAO Nordic is not able to make payment for the imported electricity from Russia. The firm is not directly faced with Western sanctions over the invasion into Ukraine, Montel News reports. However, the outlet acts Inter RAO Litova its 51% owned Lithuania subsidiary is. Mail Online has reached out to RAO Nordic for more information. It came as Russia yesterday accused Finland of pushing above its weights as the country signaled its intention to join NATO. And finally, sports story. Watford striker Dennis Emmanuel is in serious doubt for Nigeria's friendly games against Mexico and Ecuador next month, Punch Sport Extra report. The striker is among the 30 Super Eagles players invited for the games against the Americans, with the game against Mexico scheduled to hold at the AT&T Stadium in Dallas, state of Texas, May 28, before flying to New Jersey to tackle Ecuador at the Red Bull Arena in Harrison on June 2nd. The friendly will serve as preparations for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Sierra Leone at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja on June 9th and Sao Tome and Principe in Marrakech, Morocco on June 13. Dennis was omitted from the Watford squad that played a goalless draw during their midweek game against Everton. Speaking ahead of Sunday's game against Leicester City, Roy Hodgson confirmed that the Nigerian has suffered a knee injury and has been ruled out of the Onyx game. I'll be honest with you, I'm really quite happy to give those boys that played the other night another goal. I think, if anything, they deserve it. That was the world news from BGI TV. But before we go, some major headlines. The Borough Samuel Tambuwa imposes 24-hour curfew on Sokoto metropolis over protest. Afenifere condemns killing of female students in Sokoto. And two foreign story. Russia cuts electricity supply to Finland over its plan to join NATO. And finally, sport. Dennis doubtful for Eagles Mexico-Ecuador clash. For more updates on YouTube, the handle is Babakbagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22 for advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function. Kindly dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Regular Noah. Good evening.
Oh, na na na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.